It's July 16th here at the Landis Arboretum. This is the registration area in the parking lot, and also the starting area. It's basically right here at the edge of the parking lot in the driveway. And we're gonna just run the course and kind of give you some turn descriptions, just give you an idea of the situation. So it's done nothing but rain. We got a nice day today, but I kind of think this is the wettest conditions the course will have in a while. At least I hope so. That gate would normally be open, and you just go right straight across the road to the trail here. The day of the race, there will be little red flags. And you can pretty much just follow the flags. How you pick your way through the trees right there at the beginning isn't really important, because you'll see the flags. Got another 100 feet of road to get to the other side. These trails, actually for a trail run, are not bad. You can definitely hit a lot of trail runs where the footwork is a lot more technical. Day of the race, the grass will actually be mowed where there is grass. But that doesn't mean there aren't obstacles for you to keep your eyes out for. This little area, if it rains before the race, will be muddy. And you got tree roots that you really got to watch out for. Trees and that grow in wet areas the roots will typically grow really close to the surface, which is why back there you had all those exposed roots. Tree roots need to breathe too. They don't like being submerged for long periods of time. Which explains why they don't grow in swamps. This is the first fork, and we go right. There'll be a sign there that says first loop with arrows pointing this way. Squish, squish. It's a swampy area, just where you get a little surface water. Here we really go off trail. This is just going through the forest. Every once in a while, you'll pick up orange on the ground. Those are the markings from last year. They'll be all freshened up, but they're so you can see the roots and things. Try to make obstacles a little more apparent. I'll run sideways for a second. There's a new pavilion. Not sure how they'll have this mode, but you got to go by the sculpture through that little circular area and head downhill down the path. Go by the barn to the driveway. That's the welcome center. That area down there will be the finish area where you come up from below. But we're only 0.89 into the run. Haven't hit our first mile yet. Going at about an 8:20 pace. And I'll definitely drop that way down going up these hills. Not sure what kind of picture you're getting because I'm leaning into the hill. And you go through the opening here, you turn right towards rhododendrons. That was a mile. Measurements aren't 100% accurate. I'm just taking it off my GPS watch right now. Go straight through that little intersection there. We're still on an uphill grade. It's not as steep as that one coming out of the parking lot. But it slowed me down to a 10:25 pace. This is a left-hand turn right here. This is where a water station will be. No. I guess I'll go this side of the tree. Doesn't make much of a difference. A little crossing there. Little uphill. Hanging left. And we got a little more level running. And downhill. These bridges are slippery when wet. And in a wet area, in a shaded area, they're going to be wet most of the time. So watch your step. Little leap over some water. Not bad. So the past 2 days are, oh, look at this. It's not bad, just a branch down. That'll be out of the way. That was also a steep section right there, and we're on the level. So I started to say before we hit the branch that 2 days ago was when Rensselaer, Greenbush, that area just about 25 miles away, got nailed with awesome amounts of rain. 5 inches or so, washed out bridges, roads. They're still cleaning up that mess. So I gotta say, so far, these trails are a lot drier than I thought they would be. But then again, we still got like 2-3 weeks before the race. This is Friday, so I guess technically it'd be like 22 days before the race. Oh, we had that left-hand turn there coming out of the woods. If we had looked downhill at that turn, you would have been seeing slower runners head down to that bridge that I said could be slippery and wet. But right now, we're coming up on the section where when we started out, we came up through those trees. And we got a second pass at this stage of the trail. So for a quarter of a mile or so, it should look familiar. Fairly good footing. I can pick it up a little bit here. Just kind of cruise along at about an 8-minute pace. That won't last long. But it's just easier downhill running at this stage. It's about 4 o'clock. Just guessing. So we're running this in the warmer part of the day. The run itself will be at 8 a.m. I can tell you at 6 a.m. if you were running this after work, you definitely want to bring bug spray. All the little buggies come out in the evening. Again, we got tree roots with lots of orange marks. So, trail running is different from road running. Most of the time on road running, it's nice smooth surfaces. Trail running, as a rule, I'm probably only really looking at about 10 to 15 feet in front of me for my next obstacle. And glancing up enough to know where I am and see red flags, turn directions. Back at the fork, this will be the second loop. We go to the left downhill. A little squishy. I'm wearing my trail shoes, which really helps. You hit the mud and they have more bite than a road shoe. Help you through the mud. If you were running in the Catskills, like the escarpment run, if you're really into trail runs, there's a run that you got to qualify for. This year is probably the only year that you didn't have to qualify, but that's only because of COVID. Nobody got qualifying times as a rule last year. Or you could have, but DEC won't let that many people on the trail this year. Partially protecting trails, partially COVID, partially because you go through a campground. Yeah. This is one of the first trail runs that happened in New York State last year. We figured out the requirements needed, capped the race at 120 people, abided by Schoharie County Department of Health. Yeah, another wet area. And we're able to have a live in-person event during COVID last year. So you can kind of thank the Department of Health for allowing it last year. Okay, we're coming out of the road where we're only at 2¼ miles. You turn left. There's a lot of run left. Here's wetlands. The Arboretum has a lot of courses you can take. Mushrooms, feeding off the organic matter in the soil under wet conditions, a little more prolific. So on your shirt, there's the great oak, one of the oldest larger trees, oak trees. Lightning took it out a few years ago. That's what's left of it. We endearly call it Stumpy now. Water station, going on to the Acorn Trail. Acorns, oaks, kind of go together. Still got roots, even in meadows. We're next to the woods. You can always plan on tree roots going out at least as far as the canopy of the tree. And like I say, they like to breathe. They'll come to the surface. Lots of them in the woods. So between tree roots, and this is a nice downhill section, you could really bomb through this, but you're playing Russian roulette with the roots. So you'll always want to run under control. Bottom of the hill, turn right, follow the Acorn Trail. I kind of like this section. I'm really kind of curious how this video will turn out. This is the first time I've done something like this, I only got it yesterday. So that's a muddy area that obviously people have been avoiding. Going off trail. It's okay. A couple of years ago I had a practice run. Ooh, that plastic culvert was slippery too. Gotta watch yourself. And this culvert was blown out a week ago. Gotta watch limbs above you too. We'll cut the obvious hazards. But as a rule, it's an arboretum. We really don't like to cut the trees. At any rate, there was a run a couple of years ago, practice run. A few of us were running. Local runner. He ran right through one of those muddy areas at full steam. Sucked his shoe right off. Had to go back for it. That was the lowest section of the course right there on that turn. So I'm about 2.76 miles. Got some rose gardens here. Pretty much everything is going to be an uphill. Just late enough in the race. And if you're pushing it, you'll feel it. I mean, it's not terrible. I'm running uphill now. Now it's level. Running downhill, short distance. Uphill again. So, you know, it's a rolling course. We got a nice breeze today. If you get time to spend in the Arboretum, you come back for a visit. All these things, you got a million different plantings here. Of different woody species with information on it that you can check out. Okay, this is the last steep rise, and you can see the end of it right there. Yeah. Power up it. I dropped down to a 9:45. My watch beeped it 3 miles. So GPS is not accurate in the woods, especially with that many turns, which is why cross-country runs cannot be USATF certified. Now, this would be the finish. Someplace right around this bush here. So if I click it off, well, today I'm at, well, I don't know if you can see it. Save. So My son got 3.09. I got 3.01.
3.10.
3.10 to about that bush. So that's this area. This is where the runners will be coming up. This is where the timing will be set up. We'll have water sitting right here. You can kind of hang out here, the shade of the trees, cool down, stretch out, watch the other runners come in. The refreshments for something a little more substantial will be up here at the Welcome Center. The awards ceremony will be up here. We won't hold the awards ceremony till about an hour after the start. It'll be after 9 o'clock. Not terribly long after 9 o'clock, but there's only runners registered. We allow any pace. So, you know, if you actually walk the course, it'd be an hour till the walkers came in. So we like to include as many people as possible for the awards. And that's pretty much all I've got to say. I'm going to try to post this online. There's a map right here of the trails where got to orient myself a little bit, but there's the meeting house. We started out, we crossed the parking lot, the road, crossed the road, up through the cran apples, came out down the short section, went through here. When we came to the Y on the Pioneer Trail, we took the right-hand Y, went uphill, came around here. When we got to here, we went through the woods and came out below the meeting house, down into this area, dropped down to the barn, came out by the driveway by the farmhouse. There will be people taking pictures as you come down the driveway. We crossed the parking lot and went up that little hill, turned right at the top, and ran crossed here through this intersection, continued straight, got up to the top where there's a water station, and we turned and went across there and up to here, and then we went down through the woods, crossed that little bridge, came across here, and then hit the upper Woodland Trail, went all the way around there. And this is where I told you could actually see people coming from here, going down. But we turn here and go up, hit the same section where we started the run out, crossed the road, down it a little bit, went around all the way and took the left-hand turn the second time. Went through the woodland. This was a little wet area coming down alongside the pond, the wetlands, and we turned left and went up the Oak Trail, then the Acorn Trail, down, stayed right on the Acorn Trail all through the woods, came out around that little corner. This was the low part in the run. Went through here, did not take the gorge loop. We just stayed on the main trail, went around Willow Pond, came up. We went right straight across, stayed on that side of the pond, and finished right here. And I'm finishing up the talk right here at the farmhouse by the sign. So that's the 5K run at the Arboretum. Hope to see you here.